Action-packed night. We're racing in about an hour's time here. The Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour. First visit to Newport Speedway. I'm Jim Tradle on Adamaki. We have a very special guest, the busiest guy on the property. Chuck Ward, thanks for letting us play in your house.
The power just went out to the concession stand, so yeah, you're exactly right, man.
How much fun is it knowing that this is a building process that you started, what, a year ago, and making this possible for us to visit here?
April the 1st, 2024. What a great April Fool's joke it was. And people, I mean, even, across the country was like, well, they're not going to open that track back up. That's got to be an April Fool's joke. But we did that specifically so we could close on April 1st.
So tell me about the decision to buy a racetrack. What made you decide? I know you were a late model team owner. Yeah, you liked racing.
I think I probably bumped my head one day, we were just driving. No, honestly, I had visited up here probably 6 or 8 months before we purchased it, and I knew it was going to be a chore, but I remodel and flip houses during the day, also own a nightclub, so I'm kind of like that specialty guy that takes the old stuff and makes it look new again. And I don't know, I just kind of felt something tug on my heartstrings about, the history of this place and the former owners. The lady that sold it to me, Miss Ramsey, was just such a sweetheart. We called her Granny. And I just felt like that we really needed to do something to bring it back to life.
Chuck, what were some of the things you've done to bring this track to where we are today and for this season?
Spent several $100,000. I mean, honestly, we have spent over $1 million remodeling it, but we've had some phenomenal people help us. One of the local contractors here that he owns his own rock quarry, so he provided all the gravel and the pavement and the concrete and just made us a great deal on all that stuff. And then the gentleman that helped me the most, Ed Surratt, was the son-in-law of the former owner, and he's got tons of equipment, and he's donated his time. We pay him Reese Cups and Mountain Dews. That's all he'll take. I've told him, I said, I'll make you an owner. He said, a part of an owner. He said, I don't want nothing to do with it. He said, I've got to remodel this track the way that I wanted to with your money. And he said that's what was important to me.
How big is this event, bringing in the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour? A lot of folks looking forward to it, and fans are filing in.
Yeah, huge. It's going to be a great show. I mean, we had a late model team back in the 90s, and, I mean, these guys are spending, 20 times what we spent then, which is mind-boggling in itself. But, man, what a great bunch of guys. I was walking through the line there, telling everybody good luck and thanks for coming, me being the owner. And then they got the call that the power was out. So, anyway.
The neat thing about this facility, it's great. It's high bank. There's history to the racing surface, but you're bringing a lot of newness to this as well. You've got weekly racing.
We got weekly racing. Yeah. We got concerts. We're having Sawyer Brown here June the 6th. Going to try to do some monster truck shows. There's just a lot of things going on, that we're trying to get here at the track.
So when it comes to the schedule, the Newport Speedway is the website to go to get all the current events.
Yeah, and I just looked at our Facebook page. It went nuts the last month. I didn't realize how many followers we had picked up in the last couple of weeks, but it's crazy. So you can find us on Facebook, obviously thenewportspeedway.com. Our TikTok page is up and running now, so Instagram. That's a little bit of a building process, and I try to keep my hands in everything, but I've only got 2 hands.
It's great to know that we have this as our home, and you're welcoming us in. And I think every team member has come through the Sugar Shack, ice cream and funnel cakes. Mm-hmm. They're in line again.
I know. I see them up there. I told them if we didn't get rid of that damn ice cream machine, I was going to gain 400 pounds.
And the good thing is they don't have one in the infield because they wouldn't get anywhere done during the race because they'll be in line for that. It's great to know those amenities are part of what you're building here.
We really, like I said, I've got a huge bar in Knoxville called the Cotton Eye Joe, and we've took that place to the next level the last 7 years. And we hope that we can do Newport Speedway the same way.
Great to have us here. Thank you for letting us play here, and it's going to be a great event.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it, guys.
Chuck Ward joining us. We raced just 2 nights ago at Hickory Motor Speedway. Let's take a look at those race highlights. Off of turn number 4. The Russ Whipper 255 to decide who's going to win race number 4 starts now. We are green at Hickory Motor Speedway.
The veteran of late model racing here at Hickory with several wins back. Great running third trouble. Loden contact with Bushell around. Big time hit for Loden. Plenty of damage to the front of his car.
And the decal. Yep, big chunk out of the hood. Missing.
Yeah, they're going to come down and take a look at it. It's early enough in the race to take a look at the cars. Stage 1 coming to a close at Hickory Motor Speedway after a good green flag run. Plenty of passing, a wide racetrack, and Colby Howard claims the bonus.
Stage 1. Digging on the inside is Colby Howard, not letting Butcher get away.
Butcher's absolutely fine with running that second lane. That's where his car has been for a big portion.
There, and no issue now for Chase Elliott racing to the inside for position. Great racing here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Heated up battle for lead once again reignites between Cole Butcher and the 18 of Colby Howard.
Chase Elliott looking for a podium spot. This is for third. Threads the needle between the 14 of Nason and the 30 of Steckley. Chase Elliott to third spot.
As we go to our second stage break, collecting that $1,000 in the stage 2 PFC Breaks stage break. Our top 3 finishers, Cole Butcher. So we end stage 2 at the PFC Breaks, end of stage 2. The pits are open for everybody to come if they care to, and our race leader has come to pit road. Charlie Kroll.
Yeah, guys, the 28 car is actually around the corner down here in turns 1 and 2. So I'm going to try to keep an eye on him and what's going on in the Anthony Campy Racing pits as well. So they have gone to work on the 28 car. They're putting some fuel in, and they have gone to the left side. I expect every one of these teams will put on all of the fresh tires they have available to them. 4 tires in the pits.
Firing on all cylinders, back to green flag racing at Hickory Motor Speedway on lap 164 of the Ross River 255.
Lead battle between the 2 leaders in this race. Cole Butcher, Colby Howard. Inside is Howard. Can Butcher hold him off in that second lane where his car's been very strong?
Contact there. Just a slight nudge, and Butcher went up the hill just in time as the 18 of Howard pours it in again. Another contact, bumper to bumper.
Oh, they're rooting right now up front. Trying to get out front was Colby Howard, but Butcher takes the lead right back. Beautiful views all night long from our track TV cameras as here comes the 9 of Elliott to the inside. Elliott takes 4th spot away. Has he been saving as he's watched these 4 drivers race extremely hard with one another in front of him? Going into turn 3 as we look at the replay. Yep, he just got into the left rear with the right front. And then this is what cuts the tire. Running in very close to a 33% win percentage. The front of the field stacks up the field behind him.
Comes to almost a stop. Did the 28 of Butcher. Something going on here. Cole Butcher to pit road. Cole Butcher has come to pit road. Pulling the right rear axle, looks like.
Yep. We've seen this a couple times, and drivers feel it on the restart.
Winding up through turns 3 and 4, gaining speed. Contact between Howard and Bubba. Coming to the green flag. We're back underway at Hickory.
As we now have 33 laps to go. Pollard second, Chase Elliott to third.
Howard drifts up across the nose of Pollard. Pollard stays on the outside, allowing the lane to be open for a moment, and here comes Chase Elliott powering through it. On the bottom comes Chase Elliott. The fans are on their feet at Hickory.
Elliott closing quickly. He was a 10th quicker on the most recent lap. Chase Elliott closing 7 laps to go this time at the line.
On the backstretch, down to turn number 3. Simpsonville, South Carolina, as Colby Howard's our winner in the ASA Stars National Tour. He wins the Russell Whitmer 255.
First off, hats off to Cole Butcher. That was really unfortunate right there. I was roughing him up. It's so hard to pass off of before right there. It gets so bumpy and he gets so loose up under. But I probably need to go talk to him, but I can own up to that, because I was a little overly aggressive. So those last 30, 40 laps, I couldn't understand what was happening. I figured it was Chase because I knew Chase lined up inside behind me.
Well, here's the conversation you were hoping to have right here. Cole Butcher popping into victory lane. A big hug.
Colby Howard went to victory lane in a Chevrolet, and Anthony Campy Racing has another Chevrolet on the pole position here for the Food City 300. Food Country USA 300, excuse me. Great local grocery company.
Absolutely.
Food Country
Big
USA
sponsor.
is way behind this with Appalachian Sucker Punch pitching in as well. It's neat to see all that coming together here. And for Anthony Campy Racing, this is a great weekend thus far. Another car on the pole position. The CorvetteParts.net pit reports tonight will be given by Jonathan Ramos, who's with a driver of one of the 3 Fords in the top 10 in the starting lineup. Jonathan?
3 Fords in the top 10 and has never missed an ASA Stars National Tour start, that being Austin Nason. Awesome. What a welcome back for you, but this track, it kind of is reminiscent to something that you've raced at before. Talk about your time at Rockford and kind of just climbing through the ranks.
Yeah, Rockford's what built me, so to be here, a place that reminds me just like it. There's a lot of bumps and banking that's almost identical to what I can remember last time I ran there. So it's a track, like I told you before, if you take Slinger, Rockford, and Anderson and put it into one, you kind of get Newport. So driving down into 3 is just like driving into 3 at Slinger. 1 reminds me of 1 into Slinger with the Rockford banking and then driving into one at Rockford. So I think it'll be a good race tonight. They sprayed the top. I was kind of pushing for it because we need 2 lanes of racing. So we'll see how that comes in. I practiced up there a little bit, and I thought it was actually pretty good. So we'll see what happens.
The sticky adhesive there in lane 2, it's a little bit different than what you're used to seeing maybe on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday if you watch NASCAR. Does it possibly hold a reminiscent area to that, or is it a little bit different how your car performs?
Yeah, I mean, you can sometimes take a really bad car and get up there and actually be really good. So we had it at Madison back at the beginning of May here, and it worked really good. The race was actually won off the top with it sprayed. So I was hoping tonight might be the same thing, and hopefully we can be up there racing for it.
Let's talk about your time and your tenure here with ASA. What has prompted you to join every single race since its initial start back in 2023?
Yeah, you know, I'd say back in 21, 22, we started 4-barrel racing, and that's kind of what pushed me to it. I like it more than the 2-barrel stuff, and the schedule kind of fits what I want to do. And with my kid racing full-time now, I don't have a free weekend. Not being at the racetrack. So I'm excited to be racing with him, and that's kind of what drew me to this, and I'm able to keep doing it. And, you know, if we get, I mean, we had two races this month, we got 2 races next month, and then we get a race a month, and pretty much from there. So it kind of works out, and like I said, I really like racing on 4 barrels and using all the power you can have.
Back up to you, Jim.
And part of the story of Austin Ace and the Midwesterner is also the basis of what Port City race cars began in Michigan. It's now progressed to North Carolina, and there's a transition in ownership and availability to those race cars, including here in the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour. Here's part 2 of our piece. You saw maybe a beginning of at Hickory. Here's part 2 of our piece about Port City race cars and their development to go global with race car chassis.
And Gary was doing the best he could with what he had to work with. But just couldn't, has great ideas and has great process and things that he wants to do. It's just, man, it takes money to do this, right? So at the end of the day, Terry was willing to invest to take this to the next level, and that's where we sit now. And so Terry and I, Noah's, going back to front row. And so Terry actually flew down. We were invited to the announcement at NASCAR. He said, let's go over see Gary. I want to see that new car that we're getting ready for the, we were building a new car for the Derby.
We have known Mark for, I'd say, 10 years. I've known of Terry for probably the same amount. I have personally known Terry for probably 4, maybe 5. And Terry was here one day with Mark as we were building a car for Noah for the Derby. And we're done. We leave this building, you're going to the car, and I'm walking to the other building, and Terry asked me if I wanted to sell it.
And Gary's typical comment was, hell, everything's for sale, And it just kind of snowballed from there. We went to the NASCAR announcement with Noah, and Terry and I went to lunch afterwards, and he said, text Gary. And I said, text him what? Like, what do you want me to text him? He said, text him, I'm serious. I want to buy Port City race cars. I want to build this thing. I want to, influx it money-wise to take it to the next level.
And I said, well, then I guess we just need to sit down and have a conversation. And I think it was later that day they came back and we sat in an office and had very basic conversations about, why do you want to buy it? And if I'm going to sell it, this is kind of how I'd like to sell it, right? I'm not done. I don't want to be done. I love it. I still want to be a part of it, but if I'm going to do this, it's to make it better, right? It's this is where I want to be. And he said, his words were, I don't know anything about building race cars. I love the sport. I like you, and I want to help. So let's figure it out. So that's what we did.
I think we're heading down a path with the people involved, with Greg, with Noah being involved in the company now, and Terry and Gary and Jeff. Like we have everything that's there, right? So now we have to take it, and it's in our hands. Terry says, hey, I don't know nothing about race cars, but you guys go do your thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the integrity of the original, the founder, and then from Gary, and always just trying to they're racers, And as a racer, you want to give people the best product that you possibly can. It's the most competitive, that is easy for those guys to, your customers to work on. Repeatability, when you have to sell them parts afterwards, they're the right parts, they bolt on their race car. There's some, believe it or not, it sounds pretty easy, but there's a lot of people and manufacturers, people out there that you get stuff and you're drilling holes and it doesn't fit. Like none of that is acceptable, right? It's the, the quality and the level that everything is done, and that's kind of how these cars have been for forever. And you go back, it's been a lot of years that the Port City name has been out there.
Well, the biggest thing for me is just building things nicer, more consistent, repeatability of things, like building, I don't care if it's an oil line, you make them the same. So any car I've ever been involved with and build, we try to make it easy for the customers. We try to make it easy for when they buy a car, they can take it home, put it together, look at a book, understand it. And the same thing that I went through when I raced for different people, and I was fortunate enough to drive for so many different people, that it was good that we just needed support and help, and that's what we do at Port City, is just try to help people, make it easier for them. People that have jobs and go work and then come home and get to work on their race cars like we all did. You make their job a lot easier if you can show them things and make that learning curve a lot quicker.
The strength is the people involved, right? You got Greg Zippadelli. I don't need to say anything, right? He's been there, done that, right? And managed some really big race teams. And then you have Gary's knowledge of building race cars, and being, Gary doesn't have to worry about ordering parts anymore. He doesn't have to worry about payroll. He doesn't have to worry about it. He can focus on the things he needs to focus on: tuning, building these race cars, and working with these drivers and crew chiefs, all over the country. And then you have Jeff Foltz, right? At the end of the day, I didn't know Jeff very well, and I tell this story all the time. Is I've been called a no good MFer, right? Everyone else has in this business, and people are always talking, but I've never heard a bad thing about Jeff Foltz, right? I've never heard someone, and he's just a really, really knowledgeable guy. He's very good with the customers, and very good with the young kids as far as tuning them and helping them get to where they need to be. So, and then you throw Noah in there, right? And him being partners in this, and it's just Noah. Who doesn't like Noah, right? He's a hell of a racer. We actually went to Canada and ran a pro late model race with Noah. We ended up meeting Kyle Steckley and his dad, and Noah took to Kyle and was really impressed with Kyle with what he was doing up there in Canada, and so then the ball just started rolling. Of course, you have Terry also, right? So Terry loves racing. His family loves racing, and he's been a big part of Rhett Jones racing with me. And then now we're taking this, in a different business, but we're trying to keep it all together. And we're having a lot of fun. And he's investing a lot of money, so we have to show him, what we're capable of doing. And I think if you take the nucleus of all those people involved, we can go do some big things.
Better than a bootlegger. Way better than a bootlegger. It's pretty good. Very blueberry. Highly recommend this to anybody out there. It's pretty good. 10 out of 10 right there.
I think it's delicious. I had the peach, I had the grape at Five Flags. Trying the pina colada right now. Feels like I'm on the beach somewhere.
5-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market, aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance, the highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Welcome back to our Newport Speedway pre-race show for the Food Country USA 300 presented by Appalachian Sucker Punch. Adam Mackey went back into the line, to get himself one of those soft serve cones. We have a lot to cover here for you, including another piece, a second half, if you will, about a very special individual at Donnie Wilson Motorsports. It's the son of Bon Suss, the team manager. Brock Suss is quite an individual. You want to know more about? We'll tell you more about it here in part 2 of our piece on that young man.
I don't know how to describe Brock other than he is my ultimate spirit animal and all that that entails. He embodies happiness and joy in all the best ways that I wish I could exuberate and embody, because you'd never catch that kid down. He's happy, upbeat, and he just brings joy.
The simple text messages after the races and, like, you know, talking to Brock, it always just puts it in perspective, because you can be having a bad day and you know, whenever you hear from Brock, it's just a constant reminder that, you know, if he's doing as good as he is, then there's no reason that I can't be doing as good as I can be doing. So, you know, he's a special human being.
I think he's got a big heart, you know, and he don't see his disability as a disability. I mean, it's like nothing to him. I mean, he knows the stuff he can do and he can't do, but it doesn't hold him back from anything. You know, I've seen him in some bad situations. He was still grinning the whole time.
Yeah, I think Brock isn't different. I think he's just a normal kid, normal 17-year-old that just wants to have fun, wants to do everything a kid does. And yeah, I don't look at him any different. I don't think Bon looks at him any different. Yeah, he might have a cool scooter, but don't we all want that once in a while? But yeah, he works out just like the rest of us, and he just does cool things. Probably does more things, honestly, than I do. Put it that way. He goes to baseball games, he goes to football games, he goes to the gym every single day. So he probably does more than your average kid, to be honest.
Oh, he was amazing. We first met my first time I met Brock was at North Wilkesboro, and we hit it off since then. He and I, he's the best, and he and I bond so much together at the racetrack. We do a lot of things together. Sometimes we'd call each other and send funny Instagram reels. He and I just have a great time together.
So we're at South Boston, and we had an open tab at the food shack in the middle of South Boston, and we were going to get the crew a bunch of food. So Brock decides he's gonna give me a ride on the scooter. So we get all the way to get food ordered, everything's all fine and dandy. And I'm holding this big old box of probably 5 different people's food. And I jump back on the back of that fancy scooter, and we get about 10 feet out of the grub hub, and the scooter shuts down. Now, when his scooter shuts down, it's not just a simple, no, full brake. Me, plate of food, straight over the top. Face first into the ground, into a pile of chili. I turn around, and here's Brock. My scooter! Never mind the chili, cheese fries, the nachos, this guy's chicken sandwich, that fried no, the scooter wouldn't work. And we're dying laughing, and we look in, and we're in plain view of everybody inside the cafeteria eating. Dying laughing. I'm like, shoot, we just made a mess of this sidewalk, and we just realized, oh, you just press a little button, scooter turns back on.
I think every day that Brock's around is just a fun, entertaining, laugh till you can't breathe anymore kind of day.
And the biggest thing is when he rolls down pit road. He just pulls into the racetrack and he rolls by people, and everybody knows who he is. And whether they know exactly what he's fighting or what he's dealt with, you see faces light up as he rolls by. And it's just an infectious thing as he scoots on.
we're equipped to handle this situation. We're equipped to love Brock for who he is and what he is, and we're, you know, out here to explore the world with him. He's, like I say, he just seems like it's not a big deal. It's who he is. It's what he is. You know, he takes pride in his scooter, and he wants race stickers on it like it's a race car, and he wants a certain color when we get a different one or a new one, and a lot of things that just don't bother him. You know, he's always kind of had this approach of, like, he doesn't want to stand out, he doesn't want to be different. He wants to try to be as normal as possible in that regard. And I always say it's kind of weird that how God puts you together and how you come out and things you have to do, and he's got a lot of attributes that help him with what he struggles with. For other people, you know, I like to hear the stories of how Brock just, what he means to them. It makes you feel good as a parent when someone else kind of recognizes a talent in your son or daughter that just makes you go, good, awesome. They're finding their own way, you know, they're figuring it out. What really motivates me is he's just having a lot of fun going to races right now. He's having a lot of fun, and he's really getting to the point where he's just moving to the beat of his own drum, and that's what really makes it exciting for me. You know, the only difference is Andy drives around on a scooter and gets on the ramp to get in the truck, and sometimes we gotta carry him around a little bit, and sometimes we gotta make a few trips for him for, hey, grab me a sandwich or a soda or something like that. But no, it's the race community is extremely supportive. I am very proud, very proud.
But it's really about what happens in life that makes you stem it. Just like doing it every day and getting to the point where you just discover you can still do many things, like working out and stuff. That's where it's really just made me realize, okay, this is how my life is. I'm gonna be positive, I'm gonna be happy about it. I'm not gonna stress over it.
Yeah. So my dad is here, and then my mom, and then my boyfriend, Dylan. Well, welcome to the ASA for
Pretty cool to have Brock featured because he is an inspiration to a lot of folks. You know, his dad, Bond, moved down here after winning an ASA National Tour Championship as a crew chief. He worked for Chip Ganassi Racing on a Cup team. We're about 150 miles or so from Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the hub this weekend of a lot of racing. Matter of fact, Derek Kraus made the trip. He's racing the Coke 600 tomorrow. He's now here to race tonight in the ASA Stars National Tour. We also know that Dawson Sutton raced last night in Charlotte in the Truck Series, and a driver that made his truck debut for the season not long ago is back with us as well. Connor Jones is standing by with Jonathan Ramos.
That's right, Jim. You made your truck debut for 2025 a couple weeks back, but you also have Bristol Motor Speedway experience. Connor, what's interesting, they call Newport Little Bristol. Is that true? And if not, is it anything maybe similar to what you've raced with in the past?
I don't necessarily think it's like Bristol. I think, if anything, it's more like Nashville, honestly. If I had to compare it to any track, it'd be more Nashville. 3 and 4 is pretty similar to Bristol, but 1 and 2 is more like Nashville.
The talk around this track has been how treacherous it is. The new, should I say, unique features that are making it a little bit more of a challenge. What have come maybe to your mind that's a little bit new that you've never tried before or tried to master?
I'd say, honestly, the hardest thing about this track is trying to get over the bump in turn 1. Turn 1 is pretty brutal if you're on the bottom. If you're on the top, you can avoid the bump and rip the PJ1 they got up there. But if you're on the bottom, you definitely got to be careful about that bump and not to lock up the left front and get tight.
Interesting for you this year. You're now part of Nice Motorsports. How did that deal all come together?
We were talking in the off season a good bit, and then we just kind of put a deal together and went with it. It's been all eyes forward ever since. Just excited to get back truck racing with them guys. Good bunch of people.
And for you, you don't just truck race, you don't just super race, you also run the Pro Late Model. Earlier this year, you also went ahead and run with the new Smyrna side with the World Series of Asphalt. How do you jump from car to truck back to a different type of car?
It's just a different mindset every single time you get in a car. You can't think the same. You can't get in a super and then get in a late model stock and still have the super in your mind. You got to just completely forget about each car.
You're getting ready to go green. Pre-race is going on. They're going to introduce you soon. What goes through the mind of a racer before you roll out on the track?
Just trying to keep nose clean. We got 300 laps. It's a long race. Save a little bit of tire. We get 4 tires. Just trying to keep your nose clean, keep fenders on as long as possible.
Now, we're not sure if you've been to Newport in the past, but this place has had a huge facelift. What do you think of the place?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this race. I think it's going to be good double file racing. I really don't know what to expect, though. I definitely, like I said earlier, think we'll be able to run double file. I think it'll be a good race for the fans.
Connor Jones, ladies and gentlemen, will be rolling off 7th in the Food Country USA 300. We'll be back more after this.
They said I wouldn't make it without a college degree.
They said only a man could be a roofing executive.
They said a former addict always relapses.
They said my amputation would keep me out of roofing.
They said never give an ex-convict a second chance.
They said I could never be a leader.
They said I couldn't support my family as a single mom.
At Rackley, we say they're wrong.
Want to change the world? Change it, one roof at a time.
Toyota won our season opener out of Mooresville.
Welcome back to our Newport Speedway pre-race show. We're hanging out in the midway. The fans are still getting in line for some really good eats. And we're slowing down on the line for now. Adam Mack, I think, bought every bit of those funnel cakes. It's race time, nearly race time, 7:30 Eastern on TrackTV.com. Join us for the live broadcast. Right now we want to check in with the driver who's going to set the pace from the CorvetteParts.net poll. He's standing by with Jonathan Ramos.
Yeah, Jim, not 1, 2, but 3 CorvetteParts.net poll awards this year for you, Carson Brown. You haven't started worse than 3rd the entire 2025 campaign. How are you and the Anthony Campy camp able to just stick it to this field every single time they go off of that single car qualifying?
Yeah, you know, it feels really good, and I got a big team behind me, an awesome team, and just a great group of guys, and they get this car dialed in for me, and we go back and forth all the time on changes, but we always find some last-minute changes to make, but, yeah, we always get it figured out, so just a big thank you to that group.
Once again, qualifying up front, how do you go ahead and get ready for the race now?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure because we've had some pretty bad races here lately. We've qualified really good, just haven't really put it together. So hopefully we can put it together for this race, and hopefully we can do that.
Carson Brown, once again, the CorvetteParts.net poll award winner, an extra $1,000 going to that 81.
When it comes to this area, we are in the midst of what is a recovery from the Hurricane Helene. 8 months ago, devastated the area between Charlotte and Newport, Tennessee. It's very obvious in the drive, very impactful in the drive, but more importantly, the savior, the salvation, the dedication of a lot of individuals made it possible for the individuals stranded literally in their homes, away from their families, away from roads that were washed away, to continue to live their life and just have simple things provided to them. And a great relief effort, a lot of input by the racing community came together. This is part 2 of our look at what happened 8 months ago and continues to work through this community as they recover from Hurricane Helene.
Now, Cole Brown, I was asking Gavin Boschella.
I will tell you, in the beginning, the first 2 or 3 months, literally it looked like it happened 2 weeks ago or a week ago, just because they were overwhelmed. All of the services. If you, like I said, if you could imagine every single road or driveway being washed out, the difficulty is where do you start? What neighborhood do you start in? What road do you start on? So you're 2 or 3 months in, a lot of places haven't even been touched yet. They don't even have one branch picked up because there's just only so many people, only so many machines or equipment and resources to do that. But now we get, months later or, coming up on a year later soon, that a lot more's happened and they've gotten to about everywhere now, have got enough resources, but we still continue to help. There's lots of people that their driveway washed out, they need a new culvert pipe and gravel in their driveway, and they just can't afford it. The job they used to have is gone. The little town they worked in is kind of no longer there. So a lot of people lost their jobs, and nothing happened to their house or whatnot, or maybe their driveway, but they lost access, they lost their job. You know, real hardships that they certainly didn't, bring on themselves. We're working with advanced drainage systems, trying to get tractor trailer loads of pipe. Ascendant machine has got us a Volvo excavator, an 88 size excavator that's been a big help. I brought one of my Bobcats from my quarry operation, and I'm using it, going to start using it for the ground operation. So that stuff is taking off, and we're just trying to make a difference in onesie twosies. And there's a lot of other people doing the same thing, small landscape companies and contractors that are kind of jumping in and helping that. So I think it's still a small grassroots type of help and operation. I closed my foundation when I got done racing. We did it for some years. I sit on the board of Lake Norman Humane and focus my effort there. But we recognized through this that there still needs to be some kind of effort. So I started the Biff Foundation back up again to help these folks that need drainage pipe and gravel for the driveway and just the simple things in life, right? We've kind of gotten over, everybody's got power now and food and all those things, but there's still a lot to be done. So that's one effort. And then certainly there's lots of other organizations that are helping these folks that people can get involved and just sort of dig into what they need. I also believe that there's some of the folks, the restaurants, things that are back open again that need patrons. So if you want to make a trip this summer, find some of those folks that are open and go have lunch or dinner or breakfast and patronize those places so that they can stay in business. Go stop at the ice cream shop, go to these racetracks that are up there, these short tracks. They all have Friday, Saturday night shows. And support that area, do what you can. I think and go explore, see some of the things that are different now and that have changed. And you think, how can you tell? You can tell when you drive down a canyon road and you see what it looks like. You can certainly tell. You may not know exactly what it used to look like, but you can see what it looks like now, and it's a heck of a lot different. Think back to that day that I was working on that 20-foot skiff boat in the driveway, and I got oil on my hands up to here, and I'm almost done. And I've been working tirelessly for weeks getting ready for this trip. And this is my last thing, and I'm done. And the decision I had to make at that moment, and I had no idea of the devastation. But I often go back and think about the decision I made that day to go try and help this one family. My decision was to go help one family, and it turned into what it turned into. I had no idea. Maybe it's the reason why I ended up buying this helicopter 5 months before that happened. I bought it sort of on a whim and only had about 15 hours, 18 hours in the machine. Obviously, I've had more in a helicopter, but this particular machine, I only had about 18 hours in it before I put 60 hours on it up in the mountains. So all of those things I think about, like why me, why did it happen that way? And I certainly didn't do it for all of the recognition I've got. It makes you feel good that you were able to give back and help someone. I certainly didn't know it was going to turn out like it did.
And it remains a present, constant awareness for Greg Biffle. Just today, he went in his helicopter with Cletus McFarland, NASCAR ARCA driver Garrett Mitchell, in this helicopter to visit some of the areas, to visit some of those areas that were affected by Hurricane Helene. So that continued effort is there, ever present for Greg Biffle and many others who jumped in at the aid of fellow man. It's such an inspiring story.
Great racer and probably even a better person for what he's done here in recent months.
And the companies that jumped in and just said, how many Starlings do you need? I got 25, come get them. Or where can I drop them off? That kind of stuff. It's an amazing run. So in terms of the racing, Greg Biffle was helping out Cletus McFarland adapt to stock car racing. Biffle has just got a lot of things going on, but it's great to know that is part of what he has. And this community has been affected as well because their neighbors are still hurting and trying to get over and recover. We do want to remind you that on tracktv.com you can see all of the information about what Greg Biffle has done, both parts of our great story about Brock Suss, and as well, we can tell you more about Port City Chassis and how they developed over time by looking at tracktv.com. We had part 1 during our Hickory pre-race show, Adam, and part 2 here at Newport Speedway during our Newport Speedway pre-race show.
Good stuff. Awesome pieces in our pre-race show tonight, and I think we're going to see an awesome 300 laps of racing for our first ever visit to Newport Speedway. You can hear Chuck, the track owner, how excited he is for this place and the money he's put in here, and he's looking to continue to improve it over upcoming years. Beautiful night for racing here at Newport Speedway in Newport, Tennessee, where the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour getting ready to run the Food Country USA 300.
I love this racetrack. Not only is it a high bank 3/8 or 4/10, but look at how the fans get access around the outer edges of the racetrack, looking right down from the backside of their motorhome or their camper or their pickup truck. It's lining turns 1 and 2, lining turns 3 and 4, and the fans are here to watch for the very first time the ASA Stars National Tour. Super late model racing, not prevalent in the area, but man, it's great to see that this part of Tennessee is getting a chance to see some of the best, some of the highest ranked super late model racers in the country performing here tonight on this oval.
Outstanding view for these folks that are watching just outside of turns 1 and 2, all the way around to turns 3 and 4.
Let's go trackside for the pre-race ceremonies.
Thank you for that, race fans. At this time, I want to bring in Emmy Sunshine. We can direct our attention to the American flag in turn number 1 for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wonderful rendition of our national anthem in the Tennessee mountains near the Great Smoky Mountains. This is a special place. Lots of developing things going on here. I'm telling you, they're going to put campers on the perch up top. There's more things to be done. Chuck Ward and the staff here have done an amazing job to get this track in condition to race, and they're going to continue improving this facility as they continue their weekly season. They're bringing Jeffrey Earnhardt's racing experience in here as well. Find out things on thenewportspeedway.com on their website.
Beautiful night for racing, cool conditions, around 70 degrees just about a half hour or so ago. Cloudy skies all day long, perfect for the race car drivers. Not going to be extremely hot behind the wheel, and it's going to be 300 laps of drivers up on the wheel at this place, getting around right around 12 seconds.
We're going to step away as the drivers are going to climb in to these awesome machines in the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour at Newport Speedway. Stay tuned. You're watching us on Track TV.
Locally sourced means just what it says. As your local grocer, Food Country USA believes in providing exceptional quality and value for our customers, with products sourced from the very best farms in our region. From the farm to our stores to your table. Local farms, local products, great savings. Food Country USA.
Why not give your grill the deep clean it deserves? The CitraSafe Grill Cleaner Complete Bucket Kit has everything you need to get your grill spotless, inside and out. Powered by natural citrus, CitraSafe cuts through the toughest grease and grime safely and easily. No harsh chemicals, no hassle. Recipes taste better on a clean grill.
Nortec Equipment are committed to helping you empower your landscape projects with our line of soil processors for tractors, skid steers, and mini skids. Based out of Wausau, Wisconsin, Nortec Equipment products are proudly made in the USA. Our products deliver expertly engineered equipment at competitive prices that are tailored to meet the diverse needs of the turf, landscape, construction, and agricultural industry. Give us a call today at 715-393-4458. Nortec Equipment are proud sponsors of Frederickson Racing. Fire Suppression Solutions, proud sponsor of the ASA Stars National Tour.
We're the leader in race fuels. We've been doing this since in the 60s. We use our distillation tower, which is unique. No other race fuel companies do that in the world. We also test every single batch that goes out the door on over 15 different parameters that ensure the tune-up will be identical. That consistency in the marketplace that makes us a premium brand.
Make the same stuff every time. We're pretty darn close to perfect.
5-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market, aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance, the highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Better than a bootlegger. Way better than a bootlegger. Pretty good. Very blueberry. Highly recommend this to anybody out there. It's pretty good. 10 out of 10 right there.
I think it's delicious. I had the peach, I had the grape at Five Flags. Trying the pina colada right now. Feels like I'm on the beach somewhere.
Just 8 months ago, the mountains of western North Carolina and East Tennessee were rocked by a storm of historic proportions. Out of that destruction came a story of resilience, a story of revival, and at the heart of it all, new Newport Speedway. Originally slated to reopen just days after the area was ravaged by Hurricane Helene, the community rallied to support their friends, their neighbors, and also their racetrack. Once left behind, another chapter in the book of lost speedways, this high-banked oval has roared back to life. And tonight, it doesn't just host a race, it marks a rebirth. For the first time ever, the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour storms into the heart of the Appalachian Mountains for a Memorial Day weekend showdown unlike any other. All the stars like Pollard, Butcher, Nassy, Nason, Pinsino, Brown, and more. Under the lights, under pressure, 13 seconds a lap on some of the tallest banks and tightest quarters anywhere.
It's quick. Things are going to happen fast. It's got character.
There's going to be some tempers. Small, more of a bull ring, high banked. Should be really, really good racing.
It's the inaugural Food Country USA 300, a brand new tradition formed in a place reborn from strong roots. The stars of super late model racing are here. The stakes are high. The energy in the air is even higher. It's a Saturday night spectacular. This is Newport Speedway, and this is the start of a new chapter. It all begins now.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Food Country USA 300 presented by Appalachian Sucker Punch. The drivers are in. The fans are in for a treat. We're going to see 300 laps on this high-backed oval, and we cannot wait to see how it transpires for the first visit here to Tennessee for this series in just its third season.
This is a fast racetrack, a tight racetrack, a lot of banking, over 20 degrees of banking through the turns. They like to run against the bottom of the racetrack, but we've seen some drivers during practice and even a couple during qualifying go up there, try to get in the extra track grip that was laid down over the last 24 hours. So we're going to have an interesting race here tonight.
Let's send it trackside to get them fired up.
3, 2, 1.
Racers, start your engine!
Oh yeah, let's start them up. Way to go.
The Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour machines have come to life here at Newport Speedway. Thanks for joining us for the live look-in. We appreciate you being part of it. You must now go to tracktv.com to continue watching our coverage. Again, go to tracktv.com. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jim Tradill with Adam Mackey, and Jonathan Ramos is our CorvetteParts.net pit reporter giving us updates on pit road. There are 4 fresh Hoosier tires waiting these teams. It's a matter of what do you do. There's so many things to fill the notebook with in our first trip here to this high-backed oval. Stage breaks will happen on lap 100 and lap 200. That's quite a distance to go on this 0.4 mile racetrack. If your car's a little bit off, it's going to be magnified. Like we say that on the big tracks, it super magnifies here at short tracks as well.
Be interesting to see how the tire wear is tonight in a 300 lap race. 4 tires available in the pits for these competitors. Strategy, when will they come to the pits? How long do they think they can go, or do they go a little bit early so it cycles through and puts them back out front?
Now keep in mind, these teams can make pit stops outside of the stage breaks if need be, and if they care to, they don't have to wait till lap 100. Here's our starting lineup thanks to our friends at My Race Pass for tonight's race. Carson Brown on the pole position. To his outside, Dawson Sutton out of Lebanon, Tennessee.
Gavin Bushell and Cole Butcher, teammates, make up row number 2. Bubba Pollard qualified 5th earlier today. Kyle Steckley outside of row 3.
Couple of teenagers in row number 4. Connor Jones out of Virginia. To his outside, George Phillips, the 16-year-old, racing for Donnie Wilson in a Toyota.
Austin Nason looking to turn things around, and I think this is a track he could do it. Very similar to tracks he's raced at up north. Colby Howard, winner 2 nights ago, starting 10th.
As we go back to row 11, this is where it gets a little interesting here. Derek Thorne starting 11th, We'll start the number 96 Chevrolet inside of Stephen Nassy, who didn't qualify the greatest, but we're looking for big things for that Florida driver.
Rookie competitor Chase Pensino out of Canada starting inside of row number 7. Matt Craig starting alongside. He had a good car in practice, just missed it a little bit in qualifying. Gabrielle Grigsby from Ohio making her first Stars start, and Derek Kraus did not get a chance to qualify. He was qualifying at the big track, getting ready for tomorrow's Cup race.
As they roll here, again, it's a new experience. We had 3 sessions of practice yesterday. There were several cars on the racetrack, but they were not side by side for